When I was 16, I learned to ask the most important question in business. And I had no idea it was the most important question at the time I learned it. Say hi to Rusty. It's my dog, Rusty. It was my first. Actually, it wasn't my first. It was my second official job. My first official job was at a neighborhood market. I was a dishwasher. My second official job was at McDonald's, and as many of you know, McDonald's is customer service based, right? So a lot of times, they'll hire people to cook in the back, but most of the time you'll cycle through, you'll switch, and so you'll pretty much be trained on every position in the store. And when they train you as a cashier or somebody at the drive-through, somebody who's interacting with the customers, the first thing they train you to ask is, "How can I help you?" And that's actually the most important question in business, is how can I help you? And I would say it's the most important question in the world. But this is LinkedIn, so we'll say it's the most important question in business. And the reason this is because it presents, first of all, there's a lot that goes into this. So I'm going to try and unpack it a little bit, because it's a big philosophical point, and it's a very simple question. How can I help you? So the way I think about this is the thing that makes this so big is that it opens a question in the customer's mind, and the person that you're talking to, right? And so it leaves a question unanswered, and so they have to answer it themselves, right? And so if you're going through a sales process asking somebody, "How can I help you?" well, basically you're getting them to tell you the next thing to do next, to go next in the sales process. So it's a little psychological trick to ask that, "How can I help you?" But also it positions yourself as somebody who's willing to provide service. So you're I was gonna say you're a servitude, but that's not a thing. You're a servant, right? So you're somebody who wants to help, right? Because you literally just said help. So you're making them think that you actually want to help them because you asked, "How can I help them?" And so you're positioning yourself as a helpful person in their mind. And automatically that increases the know, like, and trust factor in somebody's frame of reference when they're thinking of you. Okay, so how can I help you increases know, like, and trust, and it presents an unanswered question in the prospect's mind, so it helps push the sales cycle along, right? But what it also does is it helps you create like an actual connection with that person right at that moment, because typically people are struggling with somebody. Typically people are struggling with something. They're struggling with something in some way, shape, or form at almost every moment, right? And what you think they may find helpful isn't necessarily what they like, the way that they think you can help them. And so presenting that question, posing it, and saying, "How can I help you?" lets that person know that even though you may have your own ideas of how you can help them, you still care about them enough and respect their point of view enough to ask them what their opinion is, right? And so these things are basic and they're fundamental, and when we have conversations, we kind of forget how important these things like basic respect in the sales process are, or empathetically understanding somebody's emotional needs, and trying to actually position your product so it helps them get that thing in a real way that isn't some type of deceit, right? We kind of forget these things, and I want to make it a point to let you know that the most important that you can ever ask in business, and this is just from a sales point of view, this isn't from an internal point of view, from a culture point of view, or anything like that. I'm just talking from an outward facing, customer facing point of view. This is the most important question in business, right? I'll make another video on why how can I help you is the most important question for your business's culture internally when you're talking to your employees, right? This question is always going to be the most important question. How can I help you? Because if you're ever having a disagreement with somebody, it's probably because you haven't asked this. So, that's all I got to say. If you would like to learn more about that, go to himmersportmarketing.com, and we can actually bring you through our branding process where we really get down to the core of these issues and help you understand how these things can work for your company and your brand. All right.